Hey guys, Matt here for a quick second before we start. 30 years ago, radiation from my cancer treatment felt like someone put an easy bake oven in the Chernobyl control room and said, fire it up. My skin came out somewhere between rotisserie chicken and Deadpool's face. The official recovery plan was a bathtub full of Vaseline and walk it off. You look great. So yeah, skin health became a thing for me. And that's why I partnered with Codex Labs. They make skincare products for compromised skin, including people going through cancer treatment, by focusing on the skin barrier and the microbiome instead of fragrances and marketing hype with fancy logos. Look, I'm just a guy. I want soap that works. Soap should be soap, lotion should be lotion, cleanser should be cleanser. It shouldn't create new problems when you already have enough shit to deal with. With Codex products, my skin feels better, my wife loves it, my daughter steals it, and I only put my name on things I would hand to another cancer patient. If you would like to learn more about Codex Labs and their products, visit MatthewZachary.com/Codex. That's MatthewZachary.com/Codex and use code Zachary to save 15%. All right, let's get to the episode.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the show. My guest today is Ben Unger. So Ben grew up Orthodox Jewish in Brooklyn and studied in Israel to become a rabbi. At age 19, when he admitted that he felt attracted to men. Rabbis told him to eat 7 figs a day, immerse in ritual baths, and marry a woman because, as one put it, if there's friction, it works. Just pray away the gay. So Ben entered conversion therapy through an organization called JONAH, where adults claim they could cure him, which is fucking stupid. What he found instead were group sessions that blamed his mother, weekend retreats that confiscated phones, and exercises that crossed the line from misguided to absurd. Years later, Ben helped sue that organization for consumer fraud and won, setting up legal precedents in New Jersey and other states and exposing just how pseudoscience hides behind religious authority. I invited Ben on the show not just because he's my personal trainer, but because his story sits at the intersection of faith, mental health, power, and accountability. My name is Matthew Zachary. This is Out of Patience. Let's get started. You get comfy, you pull the mic to you, but you project.
Yeah.
You sing, by the way?
I don't, but I think that's because I am too tense to sing. I think I actually naturally have a good voice.
You got a good bass voice. You're not even a tenor.
Yeah, I have a bass voice, and I've been told that.
Yeah.
And when this is a whole story, but yeah. I did ayahuasca a few times.
Oh,
like 15 times.
Just a few times.
15. Well, 3 times per weekend, 5 weekends. So a few weekends.
All right. So condensed.
But listen, I don't know how much you know about psychedelics and ayahuasca.
My brother's in the space. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
So, it basically takes you're gone. You're not here.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful journey. But one of my trips, this is right after my father died, I just started singing his favorite song. And
are you going to surprise me? What is it?
Do you have any ayahuasca on you? we can, or MDMA? We can make it happen.
Oh my God. That might be legal in this room, but I don't know outside the door.
We'll keep it here.
Yeah.
And I barely remembered it, but afterwards I had people come over to me and be like, are you like in some sort of chorus? Like that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. And I'm like, I have a terrible voice.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you don't. But I don't know how to bring that into reality.
Okay.
I took singing lessons.
It only happens in that moment.
Yeah.
Someone's got to record you then.
It happens in the shower too.
Okay.
Because you're also kind of out of it.
Yeah.
Right? You're just spacing out, you're relaxed. Mm-hmm. But if you ask me to sing for you, which I can if you want me to, it's not going to sound that great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got to like lit you up and then you'll be fine on stage.
You got to catch me in the moment, basically. Yeah.
Awesome.
Or come to an ayahuasca retreat with me.
Oh my God. That's weird for me. So one of my side effects 30 years later is because they radiated my whole fucking body, easy bake oven shit, is that I lost most of my salivary glands. That one of the few things that didn't grow back, along with my hair. So I really have a difficult time having recreational drugs because they give you dry mouth.
Interesting.
So when you're already living in like chronic dry mouth, you get a Sahara desert and I can't swallow.
Interesting.
I learned that the hard way, and I am very risk averse to trying it again because it's just nothing will produce saliva when you're already, the condition is called xerostomia, if I'm going to get all medical and nerdy. Xerostomia is congenital based on your shit. You could be born with it. It could be induced. Mine should have grown back and it didn't really grow back. And I'm always like on this edge of, should I just take it for the team because I enjoy it, or realize I'm going to be miserable at the same time?
Sure. And drinking water doesn't help.
No,
it's a completely different, you just can't swallow really.
Right. Hydration is different than like salivary mucus and all the disgusting things that happen to get your throat to do peristalsis and swallow things.
Yeah.
So it's very different.
I mean, I have done everything.
Good.
As far as psychedelics go. I think, like, everyone knows marijuana gives you crazy dry mouth. So you definitely don't want to like smoke weed or anything like that. I don't remember ayahuasca giving me dry mouth though. I think it's a whole, And I'm not sure. I guess MDMA gives you dry mouth, I guess, but I think ayahuasca was different. It's of all the psychedelics I've done, and I guess we can include ketamine in there, even though it's not really a psychedelic.
Right.
I think ayahuasca was the most, as far as like what happens to you physically, it was the most different than any of the other ones.
I want to experience it, but I'm trepidatious only because if that is a side effect, I won't be able to like breathe.
Then don't do it.
Yeah.
Maybe speak to a doctor/shaman before you do it.
Right.
Don't take my advice.
Highly monitor the whole time with like IVs and shit. Yeah.
Well, the place I went to, which is, most people think you have to go to a jungle in Peru. This was in New York, in this beautiful temple. I'm not going to say where it is. It's a private place. Temple Emmanuel or something.
Right. They're all Emmanuel.
But they were like, I mean, I never felt so taken care of in my life. So they had 3 shamans, and it was, I mean, math. Like you can go and not take the ayahuasca and just experience it, and you will still have an amazing time because
count me in.
It's the music with like the whole spiritual vibe is fucking unbelievable. But they take care of you. They have angels walking around.
I'm in. I'm sold.
It's if you can handle the saliva part, it's amazing.
Worth a try.
If you're not going to die from from breathing or swallowing.
No. I'm being extreme because I just had because the first time I didn't even plan for that. Yeah. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Because again, I just on an average day, I'm like 70% of the average person. I'm always drinking water, licking my lips. It's disgusting, but I'd rather be alive.
I have the opposite problem, by the way.
Okay.
I'm always drooling.
Are you drooling? Okay.
I'm a total drooler. So us two together make the perfect person.
That's it. We'll split the difference. That's disgusting.
Do you want to hear a really funny ayahuasca story?
Go ahead.
Unless you want to.
No, keep going. We've already lost all the listeners anyway.
So we can do a part 2 at some point.
Yeah.
But the thing about ayahuasca is it completely, MDMA, what it does is it will always make you feel happier, right? And so you'll always feel better, you'll feel self-love, you'll feel happier, and that will lead you towards a certain end goal, which is usually a beautiful experience. Ayahuasca gives you exactly what you need to go through. So it could be a beautiful, happy, joyful experience. It could be fucking horrific. And I just remember,
I don't want to know what's behind the door though, right?
But that's the thing.
Know.
You have if you don't want to know, then maybe you should do it.
Okay.
Right? Because that's where the progress is, right?
I've always like wondering, where is my trauma? Oh wait, I went through it 30 years ago.
Yeah, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's wherever it is, it's bubbling up somewhere, right? But I remember this guy, he was on the weekend with me. He came with his girlfriend. And basically his girlfriend dragged him there. Okay. The girlfriend was very spiritual and she was the one that wanted to do it. And he was like, we were all talking before, he was like this finance bro. Just like, yeah, man, like this is really not my thing. I just want to get a little high. Like totally just like poo-pooing the whole thing. He's like, I don't really believe in this kind of stuff. And then we get to ceremony, we drink the tea. It tastes like the worst thing you've ever tasted. And he sits down and the lights just turn off. There's one candle and the shamans are just chanting. And you're kind of, the way the ceremonies are, you're in this room full of people, but everyone kind of gets into the same journey somehow. It's like an energy thing.
Yeah.
So either it's chaos. I've been in ceremonies where it's like a zoom out. Like there's people jumping, screaming, everyone's vomiting. Like it's crazy.
Ugh, okay.
And then there are some ceremonies where it's just people, it's almost like a bunch of children just like napping.
Now I don't want to be the one vomiting.
You will be.
Oh God.
Yeah, but that's how you get, it's the trauma coming out. That's what they say.
Oh God.
But this guy who was just like, this is not for me. This is all bullshit. I was out of it. And all of a sudden, we all kind of just like wake up because we hear, I don't mean, not screaming. I mean like horrifying shrieking.
Like psycho.
And it was this guy just going, like screaming, like high pitch. And they had to like stop the ceremony. They had to take him and bring him into some like room on the side somewhere. And they took him away and then they continued the ceremony. But you would hear every like few minutes, like you hear
crazy, like
you like a
muted
little
scream,
like a hint of like the screaming.
Ceremony
was over. And I didn't see him the rest of the night. The next morning we had a sharing ceremony. You share it's like an integration ceremony. Right. And he walked into the room and he just was just like so relaxed. And he sits down and it's his turn to share. And he just goes, and his voice changed. He was just like, I love all of you.
Oh, God.
He went to the other extreme, became like this hippie, And he's like, I never realized what love meant until last night. And it completely turned into this like, and I don't know where he is now. Sometimes it's just like, you go backwards, but that's the kind of thing ayahuasca does. It just like, I'm sure he had a horrifying 3 hours when he was screaming, but then he came out the end and he seemed like a better person.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I was raised Jewish, but like normal, like Jewish, like not, what's a sectarian? No, it was like a conservadox.
Yeah. You were Jerry Seinfeld growing up.
They didn't separate the men from the women. What's that called? The mechitza?
The mechitza.
There was none of that stuff. We learned that like no guilt. I think that was the interesting part. Like a lot of Catholic, I was raised with Italians. So that's all like guilt and food and sin and you're going to hell. But we're like, just don't be a dick. I'm like, okay, that's a good definition of Judaism for me. Tzedakah, give back, don't be a jerk, and just be kind. I was like, great. So it's not really about Moses and the Red Sea and these things and don't kill your son when God says so. Like all these, okay, great. And I feel like, especially I've been public about this anti-Semitism. We had swastikas all over our synagogues. My kids, had swastikas in their yearbooks in Brooklyn. You can't escape the shit. No matter where you are on the spectrum, you can't ignore the fact that we are truly persecuted. And it's not about victimization. I think people interpret, what's your thoughts on this? Do people think we're just pretending to be victims?
I think some people do think that. And to an extent, we are victims, right? Especially post-Holocaust. Right? So,
right, but that word, I feel like that word makes us feel like we're self-pitying and better than everyone. Like, we did this. No, it's okay.
This is kind of complicated for me because, and this might take a turn that you're not expecting, but I think everything is based on the individual, right? And I think there are a lot of people who are Jewish who are perpetual victims, just like a lot of Catholics are perpetual victims, a lot of atheists are perpetual victims.
Right.
And then there are a lot of Jewish individuals I like to consider myself in this category who does not like to consider myself a victim.
Right.
That takes away power, I feel. But even though you could say I feel I was victimized at this point, I don't want to be labeled a victim.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. All the fun stuff in the second half of the show.
I mean, but I did grow up in so I'm not like you. I grew up in a very Orthodox community, which is as
with
right.
The mechitza.
With the mechitza. At a minimum, the mechitza.
And then the ultra fairy hats?
Ultra fairy hats. And there are levels of mechitzas, by the way.
Oh, really?
I once went to a synagogue. I am not kidding you. And this is in Jerusalem. This is the Hasidic Jews who are like the golden robes and everything. The women were not on the same floor separated by a wall. The women were in a box hanging from the roof, from the ceiling with tiny holes in it.
What?
Yes,
like a cage?
Like a cage. Yes. And they can watch the men dancing through that. So
That's terrible.
I mean, I think it's terrible.
Yeah,
but
they don't think it's terrible.
They probably think, I don't know what the women think, but the men probably think it's great.
Yeah.
You know? Or maybe some men don't think it's great, but
that is the mechitza of mechitzas.
yeah. And listen,
We should wait for the non-Jews, which are probably most of you. A mechitza is a wall, apparently thin or thick or hanging from the ceiling, that separates the men from the women. Because in Jewish tradition, at that level of extremism, they can't even see each other while they're davening and praying in the shul.
yeah. I mean, in certain parts of Jerusalem, you can't be in the same sidewalk. So the separation of men and women, and it's actually kind of funny now that you're talking about it. It's kind of ironic because you know what an Erev is?
No.
So do you know about the string that is around New York City?
No.
You don't know about this?
Educate
It's
me.
around Brooklyn. So this is going to be so complicated and crazy if you haven't heard of it.
String?
Okay. So
Not like the red strings that people wear on their wrists?
there is there's an almost invisible, super thin string that surrounds, I think, most of Brooklyn. Definitely like the Flatbush area. I think it surrounds Borough Park for sure,
I need to see the string.
if you can find it. And here's what that is. So on the Sabbath, on Shabbos, you cannot carry anything in the public space. Do you know about this rule?
No.
You can't carry anything outside. You can only carry things inside. So you'll never see an Orthodox Jew carrying a bag on the Sabbath outside, unless they're in a city that has what we call an Erev. An Erev is, like I said, a string connected by poles that surrounds the city. What is the point of an Erev? According to Orthodox Jewish law, you have to be surrounded by walls to be in a private space. And even though it's just a string, it's considered enough to be a wall. So you're
This is a Jewish loophole, isn't it?
So this is like you're in a private space, even though you're on the street, because you're surrounded by a wall. And the funny thing is, that makes it easier to live, right? So the standards of walls changes based on the circumstance.
So when you're in the wall, you can do things.
Well, for a mechitza, the standard goes from, a typical just like curtain to
Right.
you have to be in a box hanging from the roof.
Yeah.
When it comes to I want to carry my bag outside, a string is fine.
It's like the Shabbos goy.
It's like a Shabbos guy, yeah. Which I've been confused for quite a few times, and I just do it.
So again, I feel like we should have like the Jewish to non-Jewish translation. A goyim is not a derogatory term. It just generally means a Gentile.
Sure.
Jackie Mason made it like Don Rickles made it like it's fucking goyim. Right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
fine. But a Shabbos
Shiksa.
goy refers to like the loophole or the Jew pole.
The Jew
You can say.
pole.
Where if you can't turn on the lights in your house, you have someone in the house turning the lights on for you.
Well, yes, but you have to hint it. You can't say it.
Right.
So you have to kind of be passive aggressive
Like
and be like,
nod your head a little bit. And,
oh, it's like, the lights are on.
it's so dark.
If only there was a guy who could turn it off. Steven,
Yes.
you're a guy.
I love the loopholes every religion has stupid
Every religion
loopholes,
has it.
but I love the specificity
Yeah.
of how the Orthodox get around the rules sometimes.
Yep. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but my brother, my brother's a super Orthodox, like very like Hasidic rabbi in Jerusalem. He's like the opposite of me. He has 11 kids. He's a big rabbi. He just studies and learns all day. He doesn't believe in working.
He's Jewish with a capital J.
Capital J, big hat.
Yeah.
He's got the sideburns and everything. But
Pay us down to here.
his pants are a little bit cut, but that's like a whole, he's what we call yeshivish, not Hasidish.
Oh, wow.
Which is like a very, you know what Hasidish is?
Yeah,
Hasidic. Yeah. Yeshivish is actually usually more strict than Hasidic. They don't look as strict. So
You have to be a Kohen?
You do not. That's a whole
Okay.
different. That's
All right.
a whole different ball game.
All right.
But I'm
just a mere Israeli. That's it.
You're just a
I'm
mere
a plebeian.
So you're supposed to have kids until the end of time, basically.
Yeah.
And he had 11 kids. He has 11 kids, and then he was going to have more, I'm sure, until my mother said, "You got to stop." There's always the Jewish mother is also a very
I've got jokes. Don't worry. They're coming.
important has an important role in many aspects of Jewish life.
Yeah.
But you're not allowed to use birth control Like you're absolutely not allowed to use birth control.
Don't you have to have sex with a sheet too?
That's not true. No,
that's not true.
No.
Thank you for debunking that.
But I can give you some specifics if you want to know some rules, some actual rules.
I want to just. My wife's been all about this. Like that probably doesn't happen.
The lights need to be off, but you do not have to use a sheet.
Yeah.
I don't even know where that came from.
I love that it's there. Making shit up.
But the lights have to be off though.
Right.
But he, I think, spoke to a rabbi, and he got, I don't know how much money we had to give him, but like he was able to get a loophole that he can. I'm pretty sure they can use birth control now.
Okay.
So, yeah, but it's all depends on the rabbi you go to. You know, when I came out as gay, which was, I mean, I came out as gay twice. The first time wasn't
Once
gay.
wasn't enough.
Well, the first time was there's something wrong with me.
Okay.
Because that's the world I grew up in. The second time was I think I'm gay. But I went to like 5 different rabbis, like big rabbis.
Yeah.
Like what to do. And these rabbis have the answer to everything. One rabbi told me, he has the cure. I should go to the mikveh 5 times a day. The mikveh is the community bathhouse.
That the women go to.
No, the men go to too.
Do they really?
Yep, men go to too. And depending on your level of orthodoxy, some go every day before the morning prayers. Some go before the Sabbath. Some go once a year in Yom Kippur.
All right, so for the non-Jews again, mikveh is like a cleansing bath ritual, right?
Yeah, like a communal bath that the women go to before they can have sex.
Right.
Men go to it's basically a purifying bath.
Right.
So his recommendation was I should surround myself with naked men 5 times a day in a bathhouse to cure my homosexuality.
How'd that work?
I went a few times just to check it out.
Oh my God.
Didn't work. Another rabbi told me, and this is like a mystic rabbi, I need to eat 7 figs a day, and I'm not mispronouncing it. Figs was the word. 7 figs a day, and learn this amount of Torah every day, and that's going to cure it. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Well, I want to leave everyone on a cliffhanger.
Sure.
We're going to see how this works out right after the break from our sponsor, Manischewitz. Why not?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back. I have to start the second half of the show with some Jew jokes.
Let's do it.
As only we can do.
Yeah.
Why do Jews answer a question with a question?
Why not?
Yes. Bingo.
I never even heard that before.
Kyle's got like ding, 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 ding. What's a Jewish telegram?
I have no idea.
Stop worrying. Details to follow. Why did God create guilt?
Why not? Oh, no.
So Jews would have a hobby. What's the Jewish version of optimism?
Pessimism?
It could be worse. Why do Jews love therapy? Finally, someone else has to listen. And what's the Jewish definition of silence? Waiting for someone to interrupt. There you go.
That's very good.
All right.
A bunch of classics.
Exactly. Yeah. I perseverate endlessly on the absolute hypocrisy of religion. I'm not an atheist. I'm a spiritualist. I'm Jewish just enough. And I believe the law of the land should be don't be an asshole. Period. George Carlin famously did a deconstruction of the 10 Commandments in one of his bits, and he boiled them down from spooky language and bullshit to be honest and faithful and keep your religion to yourself. I like that idea. I believe most people are living in their own version of what they think will make them a good person. But you get to a point where, like, I'm right, you're wrong, there's something wrong with you, and there's really nothing wrong with you. They just don't want you to not be them.
Yeah.
And I'm reading your story of what you went through in a very highly public. By the way, Ted Lieu, dude, that was really amazing that he wrote that.
Yeah.
I want you to talk about how, you are a redemption story. How many movies have there been about Jews that escaped, right? The Satmar story and this story. You're a version of that story. I really want to understand how you developed like the congenital chutzpah to make these decisions for yourself and really own who you are.
Oh, That's a tough one. I think,
Because you are the pray the gay away story.
yeah, I think it's a combination of, there was always a part of me that was a little skeptical, not of the Judaism part. I was a total believer in Orthodox Judaism, but about the conversion. So I went to conversion therapy. So
Right.
just in case people don't know. So I basically at 19 years old told my mother there's something wrong with me. I have these desires. My mother was like, she loves me so much, and she just didn't know how to handle it. So I spoke to my father about it, and I was very, very lucky. I am very lucky that I have my mother's still alive. My father passed away, but my parents really, really love me to death. And so, but they're also Orthodox Jewish, right? So they did what they thought was best for me and found this conversion therapy for me. And
Wait, had they never encountered this ever before in the community?
it's kind of like there's always like that guy who's in the synagogue, who's single. He prays in the back. He's like the bachelor, and everyone kind of makes fun of him, and there's always, looking back, it's like, oh, that was the gay guy. Right. But it's definitely not you don't talk about it, and it's not accepted. And the hardest part is you can't, when you're Orthodox Jewish, there's a very specific road you are supposed to go down, and that's it, which is, you go to yeshiva, you get married at a very young age, early 20s. You have children, you do well for yourself, and that's how it goes. There's no alternative reality or alternative lifestyle. So, when I first realized that I knew I had these feelings for a while, but I thought, oh, like the rabbis will help me. Like, I had a lot of faith, and then they told me to eat figs and everything. And I'm like, maybe these rabbis don't know what they're talking about. So then when I was living in Israel in yeshiva there to become a rabbi, and I finally, for the first time, told a rabbi there, and he said, I know a good therapist in Jerusalem who can probably help you. And he sends me to this therapist who's like also a big rabbi. And I remember in the first session, he talks about, and I'm 19 years old, he talks about like, oh, I might have a hormone imbalance. And that's why I have these feelings. They called it SSA, same-sex attraction, or SSAD, same-sex attraction disorder.
Oh, that's even worse.
Imagine telling a 19-year-old this.
Yeah.
How you feel is a disorder.
Wait, had you ever acted on these impulses at this age yet?
I never had sex, but there was some small playing around here and there, but not it wasn't a lot at all.
But that just reinforced.
Oh, it's the worst thing you can tell someone, I'm telling a kid, basically, And so he's hormone treatment. And then one thing about me is I never just bought bullshit, right? I never was the kind of person that said, oh, this is, you're telling me this is definitely true, right? And so he said, oh, you can get married to a woman, you'll be fine. And I would ask, really? Do you have any cases that are success cases? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of men who came here with this condition and now are married to women. And I remember asking him, I don't consider that a success case.
Right.
What I mean is, do you know for a fact that you have had clients who had these attractions and now do not, and now are very attracted to women? To me, that was the success. Right. I didn't care about having a miserable, I don't want to have
that's what cure should have meant, right?
Exactly.
In their minds.
Especially if you have a disorder.
Yeah.
And I remember he said to me, it's crazy. I mean, this is a little out of context, but he said to me, listen, if there's friction, it works. That was one of his lines to me.
Okay, so marriage isn't easy.
And he would tell me, no, friction, he meant sexual.
Oh my goodness.
I know that's
he went there. Okay.
Yeah. If there's friction, it works, And he would say things like, if she cooks well and she's nice to you, she takes care of your children, you'll develop love for her. And I'm like, God, this sounds so fucking miserable.
Wow.
Can I curse?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Okay. This sounds so miserable. And so the sessions made me more miserable. And then I came back home, and that's when I told my parents, and then they found this conversion therapy called JONAH, Jews offering new alternatives to homosexuality.
Jews offering new alternatives to
homosexuality.
So Jonah, like Jonah the whale.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I found them, and I spoke to the director.
Fucking acronyms.
Yeah, I know. Their marketing team was amazing.
Yeah, they could have done a lot better than that.
I spoke to the director, who's like, absolutely, you can definitely turn straight. And he even gave me a timeline. It takes, 2 years, between 2 and 4 years. I'm like, that sounds nice. Like, clearly he knows his shit. This was the craziest part. And I'm going to stereotype right now, but I have to. I go there for my first session. And I was going to meet my conversion therapist, who is an ex-gay person now married to a woman. I go into the room. He shakes my hand. He sits down. He crosses his legs. And no one's seeing this. I can't actually imitate him, but he starts talking to me. And let's just say he was gay. Clearly gay.
Yeah.
From not just from the way he was talking, just like there's something called gaydar.
Oh, yeah. And when you're gay, your gaydar is even more gaydar.
Exactly. My gaydar, there was no question this man was a gay man.
The McKinsey scale was like blowing up.
Yeah. Like totally a gay man. Definitely a gay man. I saw a picture of his wife, definitely married to a lesbian.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This gets better or better.
And, I never, and they sent me on this weekend called Journey into Manhood, which was this horrific. They took your phones away. They took they took all your electronics away. And they did these exercises that were fucking crazy, man. Like they had like these, I was 19 and they had these much, much older counselors, like people in their 50s or even 60s. And they would say things like, oh, your father didn't give you enough love. We're going to give you the love of a father right now. And they would say, come, and they would hold us.
So they're blaming your parents.
Oh, that's session 1. It's your mother's fault. So I didn't talk to my mother for 6 months because of that. And my mother was like,
because you believe them that this is her fault.
She's like, they said you're too close to her. And they would say like overbearing mothers cause gay kids. And someone said to me, oh, I guess in that case, 98% of Jewish boys are gay because every Jewish boy has an overbearing mother.
Right.
But also such a stereotype, like distant father, overbearing mother. And I said, I need to separate from my mom. So I didn't talk to her for 6 months. And she was devastated.
I'm sure.
I still feel like when I talk about it, it's horrible. And they would say things like, you need to like do more manly things with your father.
What, like chop wood?
Like hang out naked.
What?
Yeah. Or like wrestle in the mud. Like these like insane.
That's the gayest shit ever.
That's exactly. Or go to the gym more.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like,
yeah.
What is more gay than going to the gym?
Here's a runway.
I mean, you know a thing about gay gyms.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, for the listeners, hang on a second.
Sorry. Yeah. Let's
Full disclosure. I'm a member of Ben's gym and it's a gay gym, but it's the best gym fucking ever. And I love it. And I'm a card carrying member of the gym.
We had to fill our quota of 3 heterosexual men this year.
I'm one of 3.
So Matthew helped us
fill the quota.
Yeah, exactly. So say these crazy things like that. And again, like, I think because I was so hyper alert with just like my life, I said, there's something off here. And I mean, I went to this Journey into Manhood weekend.
Were you with other gay young men who were trying to be converted?
So with the JONAH, which was in Jersey City, I had once a week one-on-one therapist with this conversion therapist and once a week group therapy with other Orthodox Jewish boys looking to be straight. So it was like a bunch of yeshiva guys looking to become straight.
Like Tinder in real life.
Basically, yeah. It was crazy. And then Journey into Manhood was with a bunch of all types of people, Mormons, who just wanted to be straight.
So it was a Unitarian fuckery.
Basically.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just so messed up. And then on this weekend, on the Journey into Manhood weekend, they were doing these exercises, like these much older men holding like these 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds, and like they were playing rock My Baby, it's called, right? Like,
Rockabye Baby?
Rockabye Baby, yeah. Like and they were just like holding us and like cuddling us, and like that was supposed to make us straighter. And I'm sure it was turning on these guys, like these ex-gay therapists.
Was there Nuru as well?
Was there what?
Nuru? That's when you slide with gel.
Oh, no. I don't remember the Nuru, but I'll tell you one other story.
I just outed a bunch of shit in my list. Oh my God, Matt, what? Yes, I read magazines and shit happens and there's strange stuff out there. There
was... I was kind of not getting involved with all these exercises because I said, this is just too fucking weird for me.
Right.
You know, and I couldn't follow the other people doing it. So I was kind of just roaming around, and we were on this on these campgrounds that had different bunks,
Right.
different like wooden bunks, and each cabin had a different exercise going on. And I'm like, let me walk into that one. There's something going on there. I saw the lights on. I walk in, and there's just a circle of naked men holding hands, and I'm like, I need to see what's going on here.
Oh my goodness.
So, but they're like 20 naked men just holding hands in a circle. And inside the circle was a naked man who was a participant in the weekend like I was. And he was crying hysterically. And this other naked man who was one of the counselors of the weekend, one of the ex-gay therapists, was holding up 2 tangerines in his hand and yelling at this guy, I am your mother, and these are your balls. Your balls are mine. And the guy was crying. This is what was going on.
Again, blaming the mom.
Blaming the mom, but also like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what is this
What was that Tom Cruise movie with the masks?
Oh, that's like the very sexual movie,
Yeah.
right? With Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. All right. So I was just saying, this sounds like a scene from Eyes Wide Shut.
At least, at minimum,
Yeah.
right? This is a scene you find in, I mean, not to pique your curiosity, but in gay pornos.
Yeah.
It's just like, so,
I mean, not yeah. I haven't.
yeah, we get it.
I'm taking your word for it.
We don't have to every single time we do this. You put out a statement.
By the way, I'm straight.
Put out
damn
a
it.
statement
Press release.
like a politician. Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
And then I was watching this, like, what the fuck is this? And then the exercise was, he's like, come reclaim your balls. And the guy had to like, they had a bunch of other naked men go like in between them, and he had to fight through them to grab the balls, to grab the tangerines. I'm sorry, they weren't balls.
Right.
And that was like him reclaiming his masculinity from his mother.
So homoerotic behavior
Yeah.
was the Jewish cure to gay.
Yeah, this weekend wasn't Jewish. It was all religions.
Oh, right. Homoerotic behavior is the religious cure to gay.
The religious cure to gay. I mean, they claimed it's not religious. This is all science, but clearly it's quack. It was quack science.
Well, let's get to the lawsuit then too, because this was totally outed, pun intended.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me about that.
So, I left, and then, I started living my life as a gay man.
Must have been the most freeing thing for you.
It was freeing, although I have to say, like, this is with trauma, especially like prolonged trauma, even till this day, I don't feel 100% free, because my religious trauma is quite
Its own little world,
quite complicated. Yeah. But, so I was approached by the Southern Poverty Law Center.
I'm a donor.
Are you?
Yes.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Great organization, I guess. They approached me and a bunch of other, my friend Chaim, who is my best friend now, and we met in conversion therapy, and a couple of other people who went to conversion therapy, and they basically said, we want to sue. And,
What was the case about? Harm?
so this was interesting for legal.
Actually, let's take a quick break.
Sure.
Because we need one more break from Manischewitz. And because it was just Purim as of this recording. It'll be Passover when this airs.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be back for a third segment, a rarity, but it's worth it. We'll be right back. So the precedent for the Southern Poverty Law Center to sue JONAH. What were they going after?
So you can't really, I was an adult. I was 19 years old. So even though I consider that a child, still I was an adult. And I willingly went there. So you can't really just sue for harm, right? It's a free country. You can practice whatever you want.
And you went by choice.
I went by choice. Yeah.
Or so you thought.
Well, yeah, legally by choice.
Yes.
But the way we sued them was consumer fraud. Because they claimed they're going to do a service for me. They claimed we can turn you straight. And if that is impossible, that is consumer fraud. So it was a fascinating case, because the whole case was about, can someone turn from gay to straight? And so
through science.
Through science, exactly. Through naked holding with
eyes wide shut there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they called us up to testify, and then we had our experts who were clearly experts who showed that you cannot turn straight. The science is out there, and they had their experts who, our lawyers.
What was the? How did the other side argue this case?
I think they brought some witnesses who are now who became married, who are now married to women. Like, oh, I'm married to a woman, but
they showed up in a dress.
Exactly. Basically,
yeah.
Glitter just
in
fell.
Full makeup.
Glitter just fell out. It was just the jury deliberated for like 3 hours. It was like such a quick
over and done.
But it was such a beautiful experience, I have to say, because we were represented by the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, and by Cleary Gottlieb. They did pro bono. They're a huge, humongous corporate law firm.
Right.
And they cared so much about us. Like the SPLC, these lawyers, and they actually said, we want justice for you. It wasn't just about the case.
Right.
And for me personally, we won. I have a funny story about my mother with winning, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, sure.
It's a typical Jewish mother story.
Okay.
So basically, my mother, and who went from sending me to this place to
being rejected by
me to saying I need to be by this verdict. And before the verdict, they called us all together and they said, this is a court, and no matter what they say, guilty or not guilty, whatever, you cannot have any reaction. My mother, I know my mother.
Uh-oh.
So I turn to my mother and I go, Ma,
sit tight.
Please. Please. And she's like, of course, I would never. The jury comes in.
Famous last words.
Yeah, they read it out. We find that they found them guilty. And you just hear my mother go, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
And then, order. And I thought to myself, there was no way we were going to stop her.
No.
No. But she was so happy for me and happy for justice. And yeah.
Did this set a precedent that spread across the country?
So I'm pretty sure after the case now, that did set a precedent where you can't claim anymore.
Right.
And it was a state case. So in New Jersey, you couldn't claim.
Right.
And I think they made laws now where if you're for under 18, you just can't do conversion therapy. Mm-hmm. And I was 19 though, so that wouldn't apply to me.
Right.
But it's a start, and I think
and they're slimy assholes. They'll find a loophole.
They'll find
around
a way.
It.
Yeah. But I think it's going to be impossible to ban legally, fully for adults.
Right.
But it's about education, having gay people on TV.
Well, you're not going to be able to change the extreme mentality of religion.
That's the problem.
That's a fixed asset.
The problem is religion.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, my sister's ex-husband's family, my sister divorced her ex-husband, and my ex-brother-in-law has told her kids / his kids that I'm sick and they shouldn't go near me.
Well, my best friend has a gay brother and a straight sister, and she married into the Orthodox, and she will never talk to her gay brother again.
That's terrible.
She wouldn't go to his wedding.
That's so terrible.
She wouldn't acknowledge anything about him. And as soon as she went through this conversion, Jason was gone in her life. We're on one side of this, right?
Yeah.
Which I would like to believe is better, more rational, more caring, more empathetic, more human, more tolerant. And as much as you want to have respect, I have a very difficult time having respect for religions that force you to be something that you may not necessarily want to be.
Yeah. Also, the idea of and this is not just Judaism, this is most religions, but we are better than everyone else because we're part of this religion. It's just like, why would God do that?
Right.
Why would God create a system where, if I was born in Pakistan, I'd probably be Muslim.
Right.
And I would think that is 100% the way.
Yeah.
So based on your zip code, that decides heaven or hell.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense at all.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that I am gay.
Go on.
besides the fun we have, is that it forced me, if I wasn't gay, because I grew up in that religion, my brain was wired that way. It forced me to think outside the box and realize that I am a human being like everyone else, and give myself my own love and self-love and find the love of others, and realize that organized religion is bullshit.
Yeah.
Because we're all humans.
Yeah.
And if you believe in a God or anything, that means you have to believe that God created all of us equally.
Right.
Why wouldn't he or she or they? So that's one of the beauties of being gay. It forced me to think like an actual human being and not like just an Orthodox Jew.
Objective thinking.
Yeah.
Yep. You have turned this body shaming, horrible trauma into something that helps other people elevate the way they feel about themselves. You run a beautiful independent gym that you built from scratch from day one with nothing. And I'm just so proud to know you. We met by happenstance on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
At a point where I was ready to just invest in myself and give a shit about me and learn things and do all the stuff. And I didn't care as a gay gym. I felt like there's a
Did
scene.
you know?
Yeah, I knew. But
Did you know right away?
No.
Okay.
No, I knew when I got there.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a scene in Police Academy, if anyone remembers Police Academy, good old Steve Guttenberg, where they happen to accidentally always stumble into a gay bar called the Blue Oyster. And I didn't feel that way, but I had this like moment where like, am I in the Blue Oyster? No, it's perfectly fine here. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just like, I didn't feel any shame. I didn't feel any guilt. Never felt judged. And it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
So I want to just give you credit. I hope you give yourself some grace.
Thank you.
About your incredible redemption arc from all that fuckery and trauma. I'm glad you're doing all the drugs you need to deal with that shit, because it never goes away. It's like luggage. Yeah. But how do you feel knowing that you've built a life for yourself that helps other people never ideally have to deal with the shit that you went through?
Oh, I love my life right now. I'm super proud of it.
You
and you know, I have to give credit to my mother though, and I'll tell you why.
Very forgiving, I would imagine.
Well, my fitness journey started because after I left conversion therapy, I was, as you can imagine, I was extremely depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I would just eat all day. And my mother saw this, and she said, "I am getting you a gym membership. Just go. Don't even if you don't work out, just go there. You could sit on the floor." Right. So what I did was she got me a gym membership, and I went there, and I literally would go on. Back in the day, I don't know if they still have it. They have the exercise bikes where if you pedal just fast enough, cable TV starts playing on it.
Oh, I don't remember that, but
they
that's
had
cool.
It actually TV on it, but you had to pedal.
So you're self-powering the television?
You had to pedal. Also, it would just stop because they would assume no one's on the bike.
Right.
And I would
That's
pedal,
very Pavlovian.
I would pedal just fast enough to just keep the TV going for hours. I'm like, oh, I lost 5 pounds.
Look at that.
I'm like, okay. And then that kind of was like the foundation of me being like, I want to start taking care of myself and and basically showing myself some self-love. And I started getting very into working out. And honestly, obviously, like, I'm not going to lie, like looking good was a great motivator. But it was also about the idea of I'm going to start taking care of myself because the community I grew up in couldn't take care of me. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then I became a personal trainer, and then I started in 2017, Buff. And
that's Buff with one F.
One F. Ben Unger. Well, it was Ben Unger Fitness, and then I'm like, that
makes sense.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it was Ben Unger Fitness. I'm like, let's just do a Buff, you know. So it became Buff Personal Training, which is why when people say, "Oh, Buff Fitness," I go, no, because that would be Ben Unger Fitness. It's Buff Personal Training. Nothing gets me madder.
That's hysterical.
But like, you know, so our thing is, it's really, I'm really proud of, and you know this about, you've had multiple trainers. It's a great community of people.
I testify you have built an extraordinary culture.
And what's interesting is the trainers are amazing, and I have more control over that. But the clients, you could take a standing ovation, Matthew. The clients kind of fit in as well. We're kind of all like the same. It's a really sweet group of people that seem to be, it's just attracted to this place. And so, yeah, I'm super proud of it. And I'm super proud of like the trainers and the team, and they make my life easier for sure. And I'm super proud of people like you who come in every week and do their thing, even though it's
coming up on
hard.
a year now.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
So anyone listening in New York City, if you're looking for really true private personal training, Buff Fitness. I'm kidding. See what I did there? We'll put a link in the episode notes. I want to wrap the show up because I do a thing on my show. I've been doing it for a while. It's really like a bonus round. And what I do is I feed my ChatGPT details on my guests along with my own personal sentiments about who they are and why I want them on the show and why it's important. And I ask the chat a question. I say, if you were a Netflix series, what 3 pop culture figures would embody your character?
If I was a Netflix series?
If you were a Netflix series, what 3? And I have the answers. Clearly, I have ChatGPT's answers. You are Michael Corleone in The Godfather Part 2. Not for violence, but for internal exile. A man raised inside a tight community who slowly realizes survival requires separation. The cost is belonging. The gain is autonomy. You are Andrew Beckett, Tom Hanks' character from Philadelphia. A public legal battle that reframed private shame into systemic reckoning. The arc moves from personal fear to cultural precedent. And you are Madonna in Truth or Dare.
Oh my God, they called me Madonna.
The reinvention through body, defiance of inherited morality, and the refusal to let institutions define desire. Both turn scrutiny into self-authorship.
I love it. I'll take it.
Yes. So you get to keep this piece of paper.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll frame it. That's beautiful.
Look, life is bashed and karmic, and wherever you are on the woo-woo scale or the psychedelic scale, my rule is just don't be an asshole. And you had to go through some crazy shit that you shouldn't. And no one wants the fuckery. We're born of our conditions. But without sounding too like avuncular or big brother, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry you went through your shit. You're just doing incredible stuff, and I'm a beneficiary of your fuckery.
Oh, thanks, Matt. I really appreciate that. And just to be clear, Matthew is not gay. He's a straight man.
I am very happily, although you put me in front of a Broadway stage for a while, McKinsey goes to 1 or 2.
People will question.
But it comes back. It snaps right back. All right, Ben Unger, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Matt.
L'chaim, my friend.
L'chaim.
Take care.
Out of Patience with Matthew Zachary is a production of Matthew Zachary Worldwide. The executive producer is Matthew Zachary. It is mixed and edited by Kyle Moore. If you like the show, ratings and reviews are always welcome wherever you get your podcasts. If you have guest suggestions or would like to learn more about sponsorship opportunities, email podcast@matthewzachary.com. For more information about Matthew Zachary and Matthew Zachary Worldwide, visit matthewzachary.com.